I want to tell you why I don't like Instagram, and I never have liked Instagram. I think, like, if you ever had a presence on Facebook and you ever did something on Facebook that Mark Zuckerberg and his merry band of infidels and crew of ne'er-do-wells didn't like, then you would get shadow banned in one place by your account. And they would track you by IP. They were very sneaky in how they kind of controlled and monitored individual people. And as someone on Facebook who, in the beginning, I had a presence because I was an author, and I had thousands of friends at one point. And then I got rid of all those people because I'm like, oh shit, like I can't see my family members, I can't see my direct friends. It was never showing me the input I was getting directly from people I knew. And I would only see like the update new random stuff from people I didn't know. And so I was like, I got to get rid of this. And you might remember that was maybe 2013, 2014. And I did away with all that. And then after that, the algorithm for me in Facebook changed. And then it got real political between 14, 15, and 16. And then you might remember late 14, I shut down my Facebook for about 2 years. Just because I got sick of the deeply political stuff that was going on. And even people that I knew from my whole life were like, I don't like your political opinions. And unfortunately, some of the people I grew up with are about as intelligent as a bag of fucking rocks. And I can't make excuses for those people. And I can't make excuses, or I can't make room for people who don't want to think for themselves. Because if you're still struggling with the reality that someone could be giving you information and that their opinion could be very different from the information, if you struggle with that, then I don't know what to tell you. And, you know, that's really all that it was. And I was giving people information, and they were confusing that with my opinion. And I never really shared my opinion. But when I did share my opinion, I told you, I'm like, this is my opinion, and here I'm going to give it to you. And I rarely did that. But because I shared information that they didn't like, or that was about a narrative that was opposite to whatever was going on in their head, somehow I had an opinion. And I shared pretty much equal amounts of information from all the little different silos that were out there when I spoke about it, right? So, pulling back. Facebook pretty much, I believe after all of that, and then I shut it down in 14 and I was off until 17, and I turned it back on in late 2017, right before I went to Thailand with my wife to meet all her wonderful family. So I turned it back on because of that trip. I came back and Facebook was never the same, and I never had as much any engagement, and they didn't like me, but it was the same on Instagram. And I noticed, because on Instagram and Facebook they were connected, no traction ever. So today we wake up and we start noticing that there are view posts on your Instagram account. And lo and behold, you can go back through your Instagram and you can see like where there was hundreds of people and maybe a few thousand people looking at views. For me, then, like I just described, 2014, there was a drop-off. Now, my Instagram never got shut down. So it's very clearly shows you evidence that of, you know, Facebook and Instagram coordinating and shadow banning people that they didn't like for doing things they didn't like. And I really wasn't even doing anything. I just was like, I don't like these crowds. I need to limit my audience. I need to put a lock on my front door. And I guess they didn't like that. Yeah, so we all woke up to viewer counts on our Instagram. And I'm going to tell you that's why I don't like it. And here, I get like, I post something and I'm immediately at like 300, 400 people. Or, you know, sometimes it's like at 1,000 people. And that's fine, because it's like if I imagined 400 people in my front room or in my bedroom at night listening to what I'm saying, that'd be pretty overwhelming. Pretty overwhelming. So I'm not complaining about anybody that ever shows up here. Here's 5 minutes about stuff that might be fascinating for you. And remember, there's a difference between an opinion and information. And if you're having troubles with that, think about going to class, going to a school, and being in front of a teacher and him teaching you something. And that teacher tells you, here's all the information about the Civil War. Is that his opinion? No, that's information, not his opinion. But some people I grew up with are incapable of figuring that out. Hence why we don't always stay with the people we grew up with. Hence why we grow out of those people. Hence why they get trapped in their own little small space. Especially if they're not fighting to educate themselves and they're not fighting to expand their worldview. That's on them, isn't it? Choose life. Everybody says hi.